Hey everyone. So sorry I haven't made a video in a long time. I don't think I updated since my 36-week pregnancy update. I planned on making another one before he was born, but that just didn't happen. I had him the day before I turned 39 weeks on March 14th, and he weighed in at 8 pounds, 8 ounces, so exactly 8.5 pounds. And I did still have a C-section. I'll do a separate video on my labor and delivery story, which should be up soon, but I wanted to get a 2-week postpartum update up for me and 2-week update for him. I'm just going to combine them because I really don't have a whole lot to update on with myself, and there's not a ton of stuff for him either, so I figured just combining them would be better than having super short videos for each. So basically, for my entire pregnancy, I gained 28 pounds, and I weighed myself, I think, a couple of days ago, and I was down 21 pounds. So I'm down about 21 pounds so far. And then also I am breastfeeding on demand, and he eats pretty often. He tends to eat anywhere from every 1.5 to 2.5 hours. When he was first born, he was eating more every like 3 to 5 hours because he was sleeping a lot more. But then about day 5, he started to be a lot more alert, and he has been awake a good majority of the day, pretty much since then. And the more he's awake, the more he wants to eat. So he's been eating pretty often, and then I'm also pumping on top of it. So it can get overwhelming, but I'm trying to just stick with it and hoping that my milk supply just becomes more and more with feeding on demand, so that I can have more bottle feeding options for whenever it's overwhelming with how often he's eating right now, because he definitely, I don't remember the last time he went 3 or 4 hours without eating. He, at the very most, he seems to give me 2.5 hours, and that's rare. That's usually at night that I get 2.5 hours. And then also, as far as me physically feeling good, and I did mention, I think, yeah, that I had a C-section. So since my C-section, this recovery has been a lot easier than my last. I had a C-section with my first one as well, but it was unexpected, and it's amazing how much harder that one was. I didn't realize just how hard my first one was until I had this one, because it's been way better of a recovery. I mean, I don't want to say it's been like extremely easy, because it definitely hasn't, you know, having a 2-year-old and then having a newborn at the same time and not getting a lot of sleep, like that part's definitely hard. But as far as my incision area and that hurting and sitting up and everything, it has been a breeze compared to last time. I remember last time just wanting to cry every time I had to sit up because it hurt so bad, and this time I was amazed the first time I went to sit up by myself. It didn't hurt near as bad, so that's good. And I really, like, the past few days, I don't know, I think maybe yesterday I may have taken, no, I don't think I took any medicine yesterday, and I haven't taken any today. I think the day before I had an ibuprofen, but basically I've been taking very little pain medicine, if any, recently, so that's nice. The pain level is definitely going down. I still don't feel amazing. I still get like crampy, and I think mainly like the breastfeeding is taking a lot out of me, and so like I don't feel great, and also just not being able to sleep very much, that definitely takes it out of you too. I've always been like really affected by not being able to sleep a lot, and so that has something to do with it too. But as far as like my incision and everything, it's healing very good. I had an appointment yesterday with my gynecologist, and he said everything looks great. Nothing to worry about, no infection or anything like that. So that's good. And then as far as the bleeding goes, they say you're supposed to bleed for like 6 weeks after a C-section. I'm not sure what it is for natural birth. I don't know if it's the same or if it's a lesser time period. but I'm hoping that mine won't be a complete 6-week period, because for the most part it's been really light, but it's very random. Some days I bleed, other days I hardly bleed at all. So I've been pretty lucky with that. I haven't had a ton of bleeding or anything like that, so that's been nice. And then I had already mentioned his birth weight was 8 pounds 8 ounces, and his feeding is, like I said, about every 1.5 to 2.5 hours during the day, usually closer to 1.5, 2 hours, and then at night it's about anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours that he eats. And yeah, by day 5 he was more alert, and he has continued to be. His umbilical cord has mostly fallen off. He has just a little piece left in his belly button to come out. So we're trying to wait on giving him a full bath until all of it comes out, because our doctor had told us that a lot of times the majority of it will come out and then there'll be like a little bit left inside, and you really should wait for everything to come out before you give them a bath. So we've just been waiting on that, because the majority of it fell off quite a while, like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and then the rest of it has kind of just been slowly coming out, and there's just a little bit left. So hopefully that comes off soon, so we can give him his first full-on bath, and we can see how he likes that. Hopefully he likes it. Colton was not a fan of his first bath, but I feel like going into this one, I can make it more enjoyable for him, because with Colton, I didn't really think to like put a warm washcloth on his body and stuff before, so that the majority of him could stay warm. So I'll definitely do that with this one. And his name, by the way, is Hudson Jet, so I don't think I had mentioned that before. So yeah, we're waiting on the rest of his umbilical cord to fall out. And then for his temperament, it's kind of funny. He's either like really calm and just sweet and making little faces and very content, or he's really, really angry. And it's funny because when he came out, he had a very angry cry, and that is like, now that he's 2 weeks old, I can tell kind of more like an angry cry and like a cry for like when he's hungry, but he really doesn't make a lot of noise when he's hungry. He usually cries the most for gas pains, and then he mouths a lot whenever, like sticks his tongue out and stuff, and is searching when he's hungry. But yeah, that's his personality. Seems to be he's either like really relaxed or really upset, and he goes from like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And since the very first day he was born, he's been like trying to lift his head up. He's like a little bobblehead, because obviously he can't support his head yet, but he wants to so bad, and he tries to all the time. We had a 1-week checkup appointment with his pediatrician, and at that appointment he weighed in at 7 pounds 15 ounces. So I think the doctor said it was a 6% decrease in his weight, but I guess that's really normal in the first week that they're born, that they lose weight, because I guess they lose a lot of water weight right after birth. And then usually, like a lot of babies, almost all babies lose weight within the first week. Colton didn't. Colton just maintained his weight, but he said usually if any of them maintain or don't lose, that they are usually the formula fed babies. And Hudson is breastfed, so he said that might have something to do with the difference as to why Colton didn't and Hudson did lose weight. But he wasn't worried about it at all. And then about just a few days later, we ended up going in again, because he had started to get buildup around his eye, and I thought maybe he was developing an infection, so I wanted to get it looked at right away, just to kind of like nip it in the butt right away before it would get bad or anything. So we went in the same day that we noticed it, but it ended up being nothing. They had mentioned that sometimes their tear ducts get clogged, and so just to like massage it whenever you're feeding him to help loosen it up, and that I massaged it like maybe 2 or 3 times, and by the next day it was completely good again. So that was good to see that he didn't need eye drops or anything like that. It wasn't anything to worry about. And he has already shown that he can roll from his tummy to his back. He likes to lay on his belly a lot, and that especially helps him, you know, when he's having gas pains and stuff. And you definitely have to watch him when he's awake and on his belly, because he will roll and move his way around pretty good, just trying to scrunch his legs up and stuff to get the pain out. And he's a pretty good baby overall. He definitely has a little extra gas pain that I would say is like for like a normal baby. He's not just like a super happy baby that never cries, but he's not extremely colicky either. Colton was very colicky and cried a lot and would cry for like 4 hours in a row. Hudson's definitely not that bad with his crying, but I would say he's a little bit more than normal fussy with his gas pains. But we're trying to get that worked out with giving him some gas drops and stuff, and just figuring everything out to help him with the gas pain. And then he most prefers to be held. He's fairly high maintenance for the most part for keeping content, because he doesn't like to just be awake somewhere. He doesn't like to be in his swing. He doesn't really like his rock and sleep very much either. He wants to be with you, and he wants to see you when he's awake. So he just likes to be with you, which is great, and he's adorable, and so it's great to have him with you and soak in while he's so little, because it goes by so fast, but it just makes it a little harder to get things done. But yeah, so he loves to be held, and he really seems to like his vibrating bouncy chair, which is nice to get a little relief from not having him in your arms constantly. We're still trying to work out the carrier that we have to try and figure out how to best fit him in there. We might just have to wait until he gets a little bit bigger, because right now it seems to be just too big for him. But hopefully we can get that worked out soon, so that I can hold him but have my hands free during the day, for the most part, for, you know, doing things with Colton and all that stuff. And that is it pretty much for this update. I will show some clips or pictures or something of him at the end. I didn't want to disturb him because he is sleeping right now, and this is the first nap he's really taken all day. He's been awake pretty much all day and fussing on and off, so I didn't want to disturb him, but I will show you pictures or video clips at the end of him. And I'm just going to show my stomach at 2 weeks postpartum.
It's good.
That's 2 weeks postpartum.